and things like it is the equivalent of the red pill.
This is a technology, it's a computing language, and I can build an app on it.
Is Bitcoin the currency of the future?
Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, all gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain, whoa. I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Crypto gang, it's the game, big gang, all gang, light gang, cash game, blockchain, whoa. I don't really ever buy stocks, man. No. Haters wanna say I'm in a bubble, man. No. Chew them up like bubble gum. No. Just made a meal with my pocket change. No. Wreck about to go and join the huddle gang. Huddle gang, huddle gang, huddle gang. Ethereum pays for my rent. Bitcoin pays for the vent. Litecoin pays for the jet. Bitcoin cash for the rest. Spent 30 racks on an ICO. What coin did you buy? I forgot, yo. Just got started last night, bro. And I'm already hooked like a pipe stove. Flipping the coin, making it grow, taking it slow, letting it go. Cash flow's growing, it's incredible to watch it flow. Stacking the cash, taking it home, making it fast. I'm on a roll. Little bit mo's all I ask for the bubble though. Currently learning about a new type of currency. Burning the dollar down like an emergency. Urgently, listen, my friends have been urging me. Coins have been surging, we're earning like urgency. We on a mission, man. Crypto maniac. Act like you don't really know about it. Stop that. Bitcoin blowing up like a bomb. Step back. Used to be a couple $100. Should've copped that. Blew up on the scene from the mind of a brainiac. Back in 2009, where the miners at? Silk Road, baby. It's gotta be anonymous. Satoshi blew up. Now we on the map.
What's good, everybody? It's your boy Reckless Ray Dinero, and we are back at it again for another episode of Crypto Portfolio Updates. Hope everybody's had a good weekend. Hope you guys made it through Bag Fortification Friday. We are back at it. Was going to do this recording earlier, but I was trying to make some big plays in the crypto market, and as usual, the crypto market humbles you and forces you to learn patience from time to time. But we're gonna jump into that later on in the show, because there were some changes made, so the portfolio is going to look a little bit different for this week's update. We've got some pretty interesting things going on, but we're going to jump right into it. First and foremost, let's pull up to the screen. Let's talk about it. We've got the top 3 trending coins right now. As per CoinGecko, before we even get into that, let's hit the realness. Before we get to that, we've got Bitcoin dominance sitting at 49.6% like it do. Ethereum dominance at 17% like it do, meaning that most of the energy is in Bitcoin. Realistically, at 50, above 50, your Bitcoin's king of all. All the attention's on Bitcoin, all the energy's flowing into Bitcoin. That's not to say that there's not going to be movements in the smaller cap coins further down the list, but it's not going to be common. It's not going to be, how would I put it? It's not going to be something that you're going to see a lot of the alt season type gains during this market right now, because Bitcoin's doing its thing and it's leading the charge. So let's talk about the top 3 trending coins as per CoinMarketCap. Shout out to CoinMarketCap. Shout out to the sponsor of the show, Delta Investment Tracker app. We will be getting that over onto here. I just need time. I need time. These regularly scheduled weeks, I'm getting so much other stuff done that I haven't had time to handle my crypto responsibilities, but we're going to get to it. Also, shout out to the Bag Chasers. That is a Patreon group that I'm a part of. That is not my Patreon group. It is Anton Daniels of AntonDaniels.com's Patreon group. Shout out to the Bag Chasers. Original reason this show started. Now, for those of you who are looking to go to the next level on your investments and get down into the weeds, I got to give a shout out to my family over at Circa 84. I have a referral link down in the description. If you're ready to take it up a notch, have some real conversations, have some granular conversations, get into the weeds, if you would, join us over at Circa 84. Now, moving on to the top 3 trending coins. We have at number 1, GT Protocol. Never heard of it. Shout out to GT Protocol. Deepfake AI. That sounds a little bit menacing. And at number 3, we have Artifact. Never heard of that either. Now we're going to go ahead and just click on over to the top 5 gainers and losers on the day. Let me make myself a little bit smaller because this part of the show is not about me. It's about these coins. Now, back into some normality for the bull run, obviously, with Bitcoin at 50% dominance, basically. This isn't a surprising list. Not a lot going on. There's stuff going on, but not a lot going on. But let's talk about it. First and foremost on the gainers list, we have at number 1 at rank 650. We have District OX DNT with a gain of 94.2% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, we have at rank 809 Rarible RARI with a gain of 86.3% in the past 24 hours. At number 3, we have Baby Bonk at rank 782 with a gain of 81.6% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 258, we have Metar's Genesis, MRS, with a gain of 71.8% in the last 24 hours. And last but not least, at number 5, at rank 167, we have Space ID with a gain of 59.0% in the last 24 hours. Now we're moving over on to the top losers list, which isn't that bad, not that bad, not that bad. These could be healthy retracements for a bull run. At number 1, we have at rank number 422, we have Syncus, SYNC, with a loss of 60.2% in the last 24 hours. At number 2, at rank 524, we have Zmine, ZMN, with a loss of 57.3% in the last 24 hours. At number 3, we have at rank 929, Catgirl, CATGIRL, with a loss of 32.3% in the last 24 hours. At number 4, we have at rank 674, Aventus, AVT, with a loss of 27.9% in the last 24 hours. And at number 5, last but not least, we have at rank 244, MOG Coin, MOG, with a loss of 23.6% in the last 24 hours. Now let's go ahead and get over into the meat and potatoes, what you guys all showed up here for, what you guys came to see. The portfolio at this juncture is now at a positive rating of 40%. I believe that we are beating probably your favorite trading guru and the S&P 500, and most importantly, inflation. As we can see, the pie chart has changed a little bit. Our top 10 coins are going to have changed a little bit. We have made a big add, and I will tell you where that came from after we get through the top 10. At number 1, we now have Lido Staked Ether, STETH. At number 2, we have Solana, SOL. At number 3, we have Ethereum, ETH. At number 4, we have Grail, GRAIL. At number 5, we have Synthetics Network, SNX. At number 6, we have Injective, INJ. At number 7, we have Arbitrum, ARB. At number 8, we have Dimension, DYM. At number 9, we have Wrapped-Matic, WMATIC. And at number 10, pulling up last but not least, we have Synapse, SYN. As you can see, we are in green on everything except for our dollar stablecoin holdings and our Lido Staked Ether, which was a new position entrance today. There were a couple of things that happened and a couple of things that didn't happen this weekend that were strategic decisions, because I am following the process, trying to follow the process. First and foremost, obviously, I was over. I had over the metric that I had set out for myself in Bitcoin, because anytime I don't know what to buy, I buy Bitcoin. It's a real easy decision for me. If I need to get money into the market, I can buy Bitcoin, sit on Bitcoin. perfectly fine about holding Bitcoin. There was no other option. So I ended up with a little bit over a whole Bitcoin. What we have done and what we are doing, because the bull run is accelerating at a much faster clip than what we originally assessed it to be. And as I stated previously, as soon as we broke our all-time high, at an all-time record pace for a Bitcoin halving bull run, all bets are off. And with all bets off, there are a couple of things that I'm looking at here from a strategic perspective financially. I'm looking at my debt. I'm looking at both in the crypto market and in outside of the crypto market. I told you we're going into a weird, tumultuous year. It is still a weird, tumultuous year. And I really don't want to have to. At this point, I just want money flowing. So what am I looking at? What's Reckless Ray Dinero looking at when he looks at the market, when he's looking from a crypto perspective for this show? What am I looking at? I'm looking at debt right now. I'm looking at my debt. I'm looking at the debt that I have in the crypto market, because you guys know that I love me some leverage. But we've utilized the leverage. I do not want to keep utilizing the leverage. Some of these things are plays to everything that we're doing in the market right now are plays to get as much Ethereum staked Ethereum into our retirement ledger as possible. And for me, since we're going on this accelerated pace, it's about time to start pulling some of those levers and getting some of those Ethereums moved over. So what are we doing? We pulled the excess Bitcoin, a good chunk of it. We're still over. I mean, my metric for what I was trying to get at was 1 Bitcoin. I wasn't going to go below that in the retirement ledger, but I did pull some of the excess to get some Ethereum. Why did I do that? Because I want to convert that to staked Ethereum. The Bitcoin that sits in the ledger does nothing. It does not do anything but appreciate in value, which I am ultimately very thankful for. We will be adding to that cash hoard of Bitcoin. But in the interim, going into a bull run, there's going to be better appreciation coming from lower market cap coins, specifically our next position, which is Ethereum. Why are we trying to get the staked Ether onto that chain, into the retirement portfolio? Because it produces income. Set in point. It's the number 2 coin. The appreciation it should appreciate better than Ethereum, better than Bitcoin does. But most importantly, that is a growing position that produces income. The staking rate for that right now is at 3%. Obviously, you get less than that from the bank. I know you could just keep it in cash, but cash is going down in value and Ethereum is going up in value. Also, we're going into a bull run. It's going to go way up in value. Also, you're getting 3% interest on an asset that's going up in value. You can't really beat that with a stick. So we are trying to do that for the retirement portfolio. So I went ahead and I was like, well, what's the other thing I wanted to do? I want to clear this Alchemix loan. Running into a little bit of a hiccup in the process of doing that, but we are well on our way. We're just waiting for the Ethereum chain to not be completely bogged down because it can't get its gas straight, so I can't pay it back. But we're going to pay that loan off in preparation as Solana is sitting ever so closely. It touched the 100% marker. I thought I was going to be reallocating my initial investment out over the weekend, and it never lined up to where I could get it out at that rate. So I didn't. I wasn't going to. 98% is not 100% to me. I want my 2%. I know it's going to go past that, so we're going to wait. We're holding off on it. So Solana is still at the number 2 position. We did not liquidate our initial investment out. And all we're doing is we're not completely closing out the Solana position, but we're pulling out the hard-earned money that I earned to get that position. So that way we can run it on the house money. What are we going to do with that? We're going to reallocate it. I already have the cash out plan. Let me take a look here. Hold on a second. Let me get my phone open so I can I can quote this accurately because the more I say it, the more it commits to memory. I pull this up every time I'm doing my reallocations. We did our reallocation this week. It's looking like we're going to be at under $1,000 in income in the DeFi space this month, but we're going to be close to $1,000. So it looks like we're bumped up at present to just around about $1,000. But when we do our cash out, when we remove that initial position, we are going under the cash out rule set. So what do we do when we cash out? 10% goes into the vault savings that's going to go back into Bitcoin at some point in which we are saving in wrapped Bitcoin. 10% of that initial investment will go into on-chain cash reserves, which will be held in USDT. Or actually what we're probably going to do is have that in a supply position on Camino DAO because we can get 13% over there, having it sit there in that position. And we'll just bounce it around, playing with it over there, getting a little income off of it and some incentive bonuses. That's what we're going to be doing specifically within the Solana ecosystem. And then 10% goes into loan repayment, which will be reallocating into going into the cash reserves pool. And then 10% will go back into platform support, which means that we're going to buy a little bit of Solana back. We're going to go ahead and get our money out, buy a little bit of Solana back for the run, which is going to bring our averages down a little bit. And then the next cash out will be at probably 200, 300%, most likely 250%, something like that. And it'll be a little bit less, and we'll rinse and repeat and do the same thing. Outside of that, we're going to be reallocating into some of our positions depending on how they're looking within the ecosystem. I do want to add to my whales position. I want a little bit more whales. I want some more on that. We're also going to be looking at some allocations, but we're going to do that after the news. But the thing that was important that I wanted everybody to understand is I try to follow my stuff to the T. Like if I'm going to have to fudge it, I didn't want to cash out at 99%. I want it to be 100%, 101%, a little bit over 100%, it's important to follow your rules, because if you start cheating yourself, if you cheat yourself on the underside, you're going to constantly come up on the wrong side of a lot of these. You're just shorting yourself. You're shorting yourself gains. You're cutting into your potential gains. So I'm always at the level that I set and a little bit above. And since it was just flirting with 100%, it wasn't staying up there for long because other people are doing the same thing. They're following their process. As soon as it hit 100%, for me, other people are well into profit. Because obviously, shout out to the homie Anthony. He's been raving about it since $8. It did not fit into my plan at $8. I am not upset about not getting it at $8 because as much as it's up, Superverse, that play's done better for me. And I went ahead and put funds in that. Now, does it mean you're not going to get every play? If stuff doesn't fit into your program or your play, do not let these people try to FOMO you into getting into their play, because then you're just pumping their bags, especially people that only have one coin that they're suggesting and no other good ones. But I digress. We have plenty of other plays. Camelot play has been eaten off of it. Synthetics Network, we ate off of it. Good play. What other winners do we have? Arbitrum, big win. Dimension, another one. That was an airdrop, but we went in a little bit harder on that one. Dimension is doing work right now. That's starting to get a little bit of traction. And we've got two. We've got the on-chain staking play. We also have a play over on Levana doing their XLP liquidity providing. Another good one. The other thing that I must throw out there was the reason that Solana did not hit my radar really. It's because there were just better income opportunities in the portfolio at the beginning, and I stated this multiple times. I'm not looking for stuff that's just buying and holding. I don't buy and hold. I'm not a hodler. If I can't make money off of it, I don't want it, to be honest. Like, it's hard enough for me to hold Bitcoin because you can't really do anything with it either. It just appreciates in value. I don't like those plays at this point. Like, not for what I do. That's not the type of crypto investor that I am. That's not how I do it. That is not my lane. That is not the play that I make. I don't buy and hold stuff and just pray for it to go up. I'm making money the entire time, and then when it goes up, I make money then too. Like I said, matters of efficiency and efficacy. And we'll leave it at that because this is just math. And like, we grow in the pot. One of the things that I did do, and I mean, honestly, we can do, we can go ahead and do this now. We can talk about, we'll do the topic and then we'll do the news because, like, honestly, we don't have news yet. They haven't dropped. Delta has not dropped their portfolio, their crypto update thing that we go through. But they did do their quarterly update with new features and all that fun stuff. So we're gonna go up and take a look at. Well, let's see, when was that? Oh, that's actually pretty old. But we can go over the features that they released back in February. Just take a look, give you guys an overview of those. It's a quick little blurb, so we can go over this now. So my portfolio. The important thing in my portfolio, and this is going to be different for other people. I'm not prescribing that my portfolio is right, but if you want to do a comparison, please have a tracked portfolio where you actually track your investments so that we can talk about it. Please. Like, people really, really do be out here just promoting one coin with no verifiable metrics whatsoever for their holdings at all, period. So obviously the portfolio that we're tracking right now that is up 40%, this is a culmination of all coins investment positions, is not beating Bitcoin. My portfolio is not beating Bitcoin. And the reason that I still do this is because it produces income. Bitcoin does not produce income right now. There are not means by which you can really do that unless you're on a centralized exchange. And I'm not putting all my Bitcoin on a centralized exchange. Like, it's just not something I'm doing. There's not liquidity staking for Bitcoin. You can't LP Bitcoin right now. There's just not a lot you can do with it. So I do plays like these during the bull run to facilitate me getting more of the things that I'm long on. And for me, those three coins as it sits right now are Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. Those are my three. There are plenty of other good top threes. You can swap them out. Everybody can have their opinions. But as far as three coins that and that would be a surprising, something has gone wrong in the market, multiple things are now shut down and no longer functioning. If they go away, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Chainlink. So those are my three longs. Now, with that said, that is over 50% of my crypto holdings. So the active portfolios that I build out every year, we pull money off the table. We start off with our Alchemix leveraged position. We leverage that out, and then we buy into the market like madmen. That is less than 50% of my crypto holdings that we're working with right now. That's the first thing. So out of that, we'll say the first thing is this is less than 50% of what I got. That's number one. And so the reason I say that is because it's important to have a strong foundation for your portfolio. If this whole portfolio that's active goes to zero in that unfortunate circumstance, I've still got the retirement ledger that I can just fall back on as long as I don't need it. I don't need to get into it. Second thing, I'm not gambling with the rent money. The mortgage, my house, your car, your phone, your brass tacks, your bare minimum of what you need to exist as a human. Don't put that money in the market. Don't put it in the market. It's just not a good idea. Like, now you're worried if the market doesn't go up or go the way that you need it to go, you're going to lose your house. That is insane. There's no amount of desperation that's going to justify that level of stupidity, especially considering those of you who are making those desperation plays are making plays on meme coins that can go against you very fast. Very fast. Not a good look. I always tell people, build your foundation first. Build your foundation first. Then you got to figure out what type of investor you are and have a strategy based on that. Not everybody does what I do in the market. It's what I do, bar none, unless you're a miner, is the most complicated way to do things within crypto. I believe that it's more rewarding in the sense that you're generating income so the portfolio can fund itself, which is what we're going to be doing over this bull run so that I can focus on putting my money elsewhere to build up other bags. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot more management than just buying a coin and just sitting there, putting it in your Coinbase account and just sitting there and watching it. That is the easiest way to do things. There's also the least upside on that because now you're sacrificing the growth. You're sacrificing the personal accountability of being able to manage it yourself. Now you're also at the behest of Coinbase. Hopefully they don't get bogged down when you need to make that pivotal trade. A lot of that's been going on. There's a cost for everything. But I've got my lane. So I set my stuff up the way that I do because that's my strategy. So the tokens that I have, the coins that I have, there will be other overlap with other traders because we're all riding the same waves out here. I'm just riding a little bit different. It's a little bit more advanced. It's a little bit more complicated, but the portfolio in and of itself, you can see the growth off if you just held the tokens because that is still the same for everybody. If I go to like convert the tokens over to a different token to reallocate a position, that appreciation on the token is the same. It's just I also got the rub of like, hey, that position grew because it was staked. So now I have additional tokens that you didn't have because you were just holding it on Coinbase. So you got to pick your lane. There's people who do leverage trading. There's people who do just buy and holds. There's people who do liquidity providing. Buy and hold, liquidity providing. Liquid staking would be another one that you could do. There's people that do that. And I think really those are basically the 4 lanes, like with the tokens. That's about all you can do with them. You can buy them, hold them. You can stake. And liquid staking, which is also staking. And yeah, I mean, unless somebody knows some other magic trick, but like, I mean, you could be farming airdrops, on-chain staking. Yeah, I mean, most of it revolves around staking, but like you get something for staking. So that's something that you can do. The next thing is you'll see that like these positions, even in these positions, you're going to start seeing that even within the portfolio, like my top 5 positions are not super high risk positions. I mean, I guess you could say Camelot is pretty high risk. It's down at 822. That's a low market cap, high risk, high reward coin, but like I'm using the platform. So like it's stuff that I'm using, but like you see a bunch of Ethereum. We're focused on Ethereum. That's in the top 5. Another one, Solana. Like we went big on Solana because out of the riskier plays, because I do consider Solana a risk for me. It was the least risky high reward play because I do also believe that the VCs are going to get their money out this year. I do see that there's a lot of activity on there. There's also some actually some really good liquidity. For liquidity providers, there's some good options. For people who like staking, there's some good options. They're gamifying the point system over there. They're doing a lot of point system ecosystem stuff. I'm here for it. So Solana's a big one. Synthetics Network. I've been in that before. Like we done Adolf Synthetics before. This is nothing new to me. That was an easy play. They changed the mechanics of it a little bit so that there wasn't income coming off of this for the whole time. So we had to, that's the only reason we got out at 100% when we did for the initial investment. But still, what's left is still a large chunk considering it's 1, 2, 3, 4, number 5. And then moving down the list, like this year, it's like the most conservative it's been for me going into a bull run because I do not have a ton of tokens that are outside of the top 100, and normally none of them are in the top 100. But as your portfolio grows, you don't need to take those swing for the fence risks when you can get base hits, and you can just get a bunch of them. So this year we have a couple of swing for the fence plays, some stuff that's low down out of the top 100. We got Dimension, we've got Camelot token, which is the highest one up. That's the furthest out of the top 100. We got Superverse in there. We got Synapse. Scrolling down a little bit further, Thor Wallet Dex. That's another big one. Osmosis, Radium, Umami is another big one, and like we're using that portfolio, that platform, we're using it pretty heavy. It's a pivotal part of my my strategy this year, because one of the other things I'm doing this year that I hadn't done previous that I am going to start advocating, and this is me being able to humble myself and listen to people that I don't necessarily agree with their takes on crypto, because they haven't put in their 10,000 hours, and I have. So they're not as informed. It's just what it is. But Wall Street Trapper was talking about his portfolio, and I was listening to how he has his options trading portfolio set up. And he was talking about his cash reserves. He keeps cash on hand in his portfolio. And I'm looking at him sideways like, that's stupid. And my initial knee-jerk thought, because of how I've managed this portfolio, the portfolio that I've built myself with my 10,000 hours on crypto that goes lightning speed. And he was talking about how he likes to keep 10% in cash in the portfolio just in case there's a crash, so he can start scooping stuff up. And I always talk about doing this, and I never do it. I never do, because it's hard for me, because like there's so many options in crypto that I'm like, oh, there's this project, and there's this project, and there's this project. And I'm like, I'm not keeping any cash around for 30% retracements, 20% drops, none of it. And so every time I have to like reallocate money, and hope that it's still down when my paycheck comes in. And so I was listening to how he breaks his portfolio down, and the way that he explained it, it hit for me. Again, humbling oneself to people that might know something that you don't know in the field that they're in, and being able to take from other fields and apply it to what you're doing. So starting a couple of weeks ago, I started moving stuff around. And like when I'm doing my cash outs, I'm looking, I'm like, all right, like cool, like we need to move this over. And like instead of just aping into the next play like I usually do, I'm going, okay, like I broke this down so I was going to have cash reserves anyway. So then the game became, I got to look around for a place to park this cash reserve. So that way it's not going to be hard for me to have cash on hand because it's doing something. So we tapped in over at the Umami platform. They've got a single asset staking stablecoin fund, and we're staking our cash reserves over there. We're trying to get it. And I don't know that I'll get to 10%. We are working our way towards it, but I wanted to make sure that I had at least 5, because I'm like, crypto moves really fast. 10% would be good, but that's a lot of funds off the table. But then I started looking, and I was like, with the APR that I'm getting over on Umami, it's not that bad, because I have staked coins in positions that have lower APRs, and I'm fine about it. So now we have a cash reserve. We're up to 5%. Actually, we're a little bit over 5% now. And we're gonna keep adding to it, because like now we have the cash out metrics, so like we always have a way to like keep moving money over into that pool. And we're gonna keep working at it, and as our positions grow, as we reallocate, that cash reserve position will grow as well, which is going to be a little bit different, because now when we have a 30%, 20%. I'm not touching that cash reserve unless it's at least 20% dip. But then we can go, okay, cool. Now we can go move something into some tokens, and like we actually have something to go, hey, the market's done crashed out. We had that pullback. Like now I can go buy stuff. Like now I can get this out, move it to where it needs to go, and we can keep it pushing. This is probably the best portfolio that I have done personally. And like, obviously every year we're supposed to be improving, but like the portfolio as it sits right now is the best it's ever been. Like it's definitively doing what it needs to do. It's set up the way that it needs to be. And like, I'm really ready to start doing some testing. The other things that we're doing is we're getting ready to start attacking the real world debt as well. Like we're getting ready to start moving some funds around. We're going to pay back the Discover loan that we took out. We're going to be paying that back early as projected. Like I didn't expect that I was like well within the 0% realm. And then after we do that, we're going to get another one. We're going to do another one. And, I'm going to go ahead and tack a 10% on to that because it was 4.5%. I'm getting the other 5.5%. I'm going to pay myself on top of that. So like after the loan's paid off, the very next thing we'll have one more thing. I'll pay myself that 5% that'll go in the cash reserve pool to build that out. So that way I have savings. I use active savings. We treat it like in-home banking. For those of you who are not familiar, it's that minus the life insurance piece of it, because I don't see the point in doing that at this juncture. Like maybe when I'm rich, we can shift it over to something of that nature, but it'll definitely have to be after it's a policy amount of money. But like you can do that within your bank account because it's your money and you can do what you want with it if you're disciplined. And I am. So those are the things that we're looking at. And that's how I've got my portfolio set up. And we're just going to keep doing more of that. We're going to pay that loan off for Alchemix, and then we're going to see another massive influx. And the thing that needs to be understood is the ST ETH position that we've got here, that is literally going into the ledger and never moving. But I did want to document it since I'm buying it within this run, because then we can track it. But like all the Lido staked Ether buys that we do this year, that's going to be us converting Ethereum that we either already had that we're going to be freeing up, or that we are converting out, because towards the end of the year, there's going to be another massive conversion of Lido staked Ether as well, just to show like, hey, like this is how much we put into here over the bull run. Because throughout the bull run, we're going to have plenty of massive pumps where we're going to be feeding into this position, and it's going to be wonderful. But I want to make sure that we're tracking it along the way so that we can go, hey, like we bought in here. This is what we did over the time, because like we were still converting from within the portfolio into this position and then moving it into the ledger, and we're keeping it moving that way. So that's what I've got in regards to the portfolio, and how I'm going to change this to how I set up my crypto portfolio. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah. So, and how I set up my crypto portfolio. Now, you guys can take from this what you will. Chew the meat, spit out the bone. Everybody should have some semblance of a plan, though, because it is going to get crazy. And the crazier it gets, the bigger these waves gets, the bigger the runs gets, the bigger the green candles get, the harder it's going to be to see the forest from the trees. And if you don't have a set trajectory for how you're planning to navigate this market that you're willing to commit to, it's going to become problematic, because you're not going to follow your plan 100% to the T to begin with once the money starts flowing in. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to fudge on something, but the premise is I have a framework. So me screwing up within the framework is different than me just doing whatever I want to do, because I've been through bull runs where I've done whatever I wanted to do with no oversight and no boundaries and nothing to hold myself accountable with, and it didn't go as well. It was way more stressful. It just wasn't something that is going to be sustainable, which is why people don't walk away with anything out of these bull runs. Because just out here willy-nilly chasing the next alpha. This is the next pump. This is the next pump. This is the next pump. It's not effective. Oh, also, I was going to say in regards to the meme coins, because I know people know about me and my opinion on meme coins. I will have like a minuscule 0.5%, maybe 1% of the portfolio, maybe, that will be allocated for meme coin plays. Me personally, I am not listening to influencers. If you are not in an alpha back channel or paired up with somebody who has access to alpha, or you yourself know how to research these meme coins to spot the ones that are going to pump and like be able to get in with the whales and get out when you're supposed to, I don't recommend it. Because what I'm doing with my money is I'm going to be playing around in back channels with people with a lot more money than you, with a lot more money than me, that are going to be making moves and setting up plays. And I'm going to work with them with 1%, 0.5% of my portfolio, of the active portfolio, not of the whole, of what I'm actively using this year. It'll be like 0.5% most likely, because it's just going to be just as easy for me to just go and make more income in the market, because I do know how to navigate a specific realm of this market. But as far as the gambling goes, it will be a gambling amount of money. I will be playing the lottery, a little bit more informed than most of you. And yeah, like if you're planning on trying to get into a meme coin, find an NFT community that has a back channel for NFT holders, and make sure that the NFTs are over $500 for your JPEG, and get in a community where it costs you to get in there to talk to those people, and then just sit in there and absorb information and see what they're doing and see how those plays work out, and plan accordingly. And don't use more than 1% of your portfolio. And if you haven't built out a foundation and figured out what your core coins are, and I don't think that there should be a lot of them. Like, I think it should be like under 5. I've got 3. And that's what it should be. Because it's like not something that you want to manage. And I would make sure that one of those at least one of those coins, because one of those coins should be Bitcoin. If it's not, you're stupid. Like, at this point in the game, with what's going on, one of your core foundational coins should be Bitcoin. Just so you know. Because most of the stuff after the bull run's over isn't going to be what it is during the bull run. It's not going to keep going up forever. Those coins are not going to stay relevant. The narratives change. AI might not be a thing anymore. Not that it's not going to be a thing, but within the crypto space, once the narrative switches, people aren't going to be talking about those coins. There's not going to be hype around those coins. Most of you are finding out about coins from influencers. That's how they're getting on your radar. You're not active in the markets. You're not looking at what projects are using what. Like, I got an argument with somebody about Chainlink. They didn't realize that Chainlink is used in the back end of every single DEX, regardless of what chain it's on, even if the coin's not sold on that chain. It's like talking to brick walls. But I digress. Again, people aren't in the markets. Most of you are getting your alpha from people who, after they get to it, everybody's got it. You're on these channels with hundreds of thousands of people thinking you know something that nobody else knows. Well, there's at least 100,000 people who saw that video with you. It's not the same as being over here in reckless rate of narrow land, checking out crypto portfolio updates, and 100 people, few hundred people see it. Depending on the video, I mean, I still haven't figured out how to hack the algorithm. I'm not really trying either. I haven't sat down and put forth a bunch of time researching it. So my videos don't get as much traction as most of these channels. Also, Bag Chasers and Circa 84, you guys get this first, 72 hours before everybody else gets it. If thousands of people are watching the same alpha that you're watching, unless you saw it first and acted immediately, those same people are doing the same thing that you're doing. Also, the person who created the content has most likely placed their moves before they released it to you to tell you about it. So now you're exit liquidity for them. Just so you know. That's the reason I don't suggest buying coins on this channel. I show you what I have. let you know the moves that I made. You guys can do your own research and do what you want. The people that are pushing coins, you're their exit liquidity, most likely, unless it's a project that they are a part of, that they own. And then even still, like, you're still helping make them money. That's why they're pushing it. Either that or they're getting paid on the back end and they're just not telling you that they're paid to do it. Take your pick. Now let's talk about this Delta quarterly update that they released back in February. Shout outs to Delta Investment Tracker. Let's see what they've done. Delta Direct now for stocks. Delta Direct from our early days has undergone a significant transformation. Initially designed to bridge the gap between crypto teams and hodlers, Delta Direct has expanded the horizon to embrace the stock market. Now, this feature now brings you the latest press releases, financial filings. Oh, yeah, this is super useful. It gives you updates. And the stuff that you have in your portfolio, if it's relevant news, if you have the pro feature, it lets you know what's going on with the stuff that you're holding. It's super useful. Unlock insider moves with Delta Pro, also really cool. Ever wondered about the stock maneuvers of big players like Mark or Elon? Introducing insider moves, a new pro feature within Delta. This feature grants you the exclusive insights into insider transaction, who's buying, who's selling, and in which stocks. Insider moves is your key to gaining an edge in the financial market, providing crucial information at your fingertips. Insider moves is cool. I have it. I've used it. I've been using it. It divines the tea leaves. It's super useful, not going to lie. Social investing powered by eToro in collaboration with our parent company eToro, the world's leading social investment platform. We've infused a social dimension into your Delta experience. You can engage with a community of investors by logging in and navigating to the discussion tab on any Delta asset. Share insights, pose questions, and exchange opinions to enrich your investment journey. I have not used this. I'm really not about the social aspect of most of these things. I kind of get my information and do what I want to do. But that is actually pretty cool to be able to get in there and talk to people and talk amongst yourselves based on the asset, like people talking about the moves that they're making. You might be able to make some really good connections in there. Who knows? Delta on the big screen. Yes. This is what we're talking about. This is what I've been waiting for. I need to get it set up. I have the instructions. I just haven't proceeded forward with them yet. Basically, this one I can tell you. I got an email. I was super excited. I'm about a week and a half out on it. But they've got a desktop. And then they're also going to have a web version, which is going to be great because then we can pull this up. And when we're going through the portfolio, we can take a look and do it from within the Delta app, and then we can do the hopium and the hype over on CoinGecko. But Delta is expanding. They will be further integrated into the show. It's going to be awesome. All right, they're expanding our horizons and new assets and connections. We're enhancing our asset coverage in the addition of over 83,000 bank funds for comprehensive portfolio tracking, integrating Bybit for seamless auto-syncing of transactions to ensure that every trade is reflected in your Delta portfolio, and introducing the latest SEC-approved BTC ETFs to make investing in Bitcoin straightforward and accessible. This expansion broadens the spectrum of investments you can track and simplifies the management of diverse asset classes, from traditional bank funds to cutting-edge cryptocurrency investing, all within the Delta app. Super cool. Now, they're going to be ever expanding because everybody's getting into the brokerage deal because everybody wants your money sitting there. The one thing that I will say about this, in my experience and having to fire Citibank for blocking access to the SEC-approved Bitcoin ETF funds, I would stick to the real ones. I would stick to the big players. I feel like the reckoning that's going to come from this new digital age is going to result in a lot of things happening similar to what's going on over at Vanguard with a bunch of CEOs having to resign and or be fired. Because if I was, I am not, but if I was a Citibank shareholder, I would be calling for the CEO's resignation immediately for blocking people for a bank to engage in anti-capitalistic behavior is ridiculous. Like, that's supposed to be the bastion of capitalism. So I would stick to the big ones. Charles Schwab is great. They're not blocking. I'm pretty sure that E-Trade's probably going to be good. I'm going to be setting up. I'm going to likely be doing my options trading portfolio over there once I start doing that, because we're looking at a few different avenues for income as we're making some shifts moving forward. And I need to have some stuff that I can do while I'm on the road and traveling. Like, we got to keep these bags going, and we also need to accelerate what we're doing. So we're going to be looking at some options some things I can dabble in. Now, the smaller banks, there's more rules, more regulation. There are less features. It's just not the same as a brokerage account. It's just not. I don't know what else to say about it. But something's better than nothing. Like, if you're just getting into the market and you're scrounging around and like you have limited income, I would start with Cash App. You can build a decent portfolio over there. You can buy fractional shares of stock. When you get into the brokerages, it's discipline. You got to save money until you can buy whole shares. Like, it's just what it is. It's what it is. But I would be working towards getting into a brokerage account, like a legitimate one, a Charles Schwab, an E-Trade, Morgan. I think Morgan Stanley's one, probably, maybe. I don't know. Just one of the ones where it's a brokerage. That's what they do. They're a brokerage first, and then like maybe they give you a checking account so that you can keep your money there and spend it out of that versus the standard account. But that's where you want to be moving towards, because these bank attached brokerages, they're limited. You don't have the ability to do everything that you can at a full service brokerage. And you end up in situations where you're arguing with the bank about why you can't access certain funds that are approved by the SEC that you can get anywhere else. And I think we're gonna put a pin in it on that one. I'm hoping that you guys are getting some value out of this. Tap in with me down in the comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know. That's on my list also. We're going to be filtering in some more crypto shirts. I forgot to wear a crypto shirt tonight, and we'll see who notices. But I got back in, and we're kind of where we're at with things. So I wanted to make sure to get this done and uploaded before I went to bed so that the bag chasers and my people over at Circa 84 had access to this alpha as it came off the press. It's been a busy weekend. It's been a good weekend. I'm ready for the week ahead. I'm excited for the week ahead. Crypto doesn't sleep, but I have to. It's your boy, Reckless Ray, Dinero, and until next week, peace. I'm out.
Cryptocurrency, currency. She love cryptocurrency. Me have a hot sexy girl. Whoa. Yeah. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no want the cash, she want the crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no want the cash, she want the crypto. Decentralized like a blockchain. Anyway you see me, girl, you know it not go stop rain. Pull up in the Beamer or the Benz or the Bentley. Cryptocurrency, that's what we spending. We not in a lending. No for them a stake yo. We not in a renting. Bad mind fussy them. Once we ending. Grinding out with face but call that pretending. Now left me 9 milli. Girls so we trending. Me have a hot sexy girl just a tip jar. She wanna go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no want the cash, she want the crypto. Me have a hot sexy girl just a tip jar. She wanna come up and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso. She no want the cash, cryptocurrency, cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency. She love cryptocurrency. MetaMask wallet. Cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency, cryptocurrency, currency. Coinbase wallet. Stack it up. Me have a hot sexy girl, just a tip jar. She whine and go down and she dips her. She love dancehall and calypso.